Listen, listen. It is not whether you are Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Republican, or Democrat. It's if you are ready to fight for justice for all, no matter what label you are under. Listen, listen. The question is not whether can you die for me, the question is whether can you live for me. If we understand our differences, our similarities will have substance. Listen, listen. The struggle is real. We can and must win. Listen. We can and must win. Listen, listen. It is not whether you are Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Republican, or Democrat. It's if you are ready to fight for justice for all, no matter what label you are under. Listen, listen. The question is not whether can you die for me, the question is whether can you live for me. If we understand our differences, our similarities will have substance. Listen, listen. The struggle is real. We can and must win. Listen. We can and must win.
Title, Family.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Real Conversations with the KO. That's right, we're a little bit after 6:07 in the evening. And I have to apologize to everyone. My guest who I was going to have, could not make it, had to cancel. So tonight, for a few minutes, you're stuck with, wow, you're stuck with me. Which I don't think should be that bad this evening. Because, our topic, we're going to continue what our topic was going to be, because this is Women's History Month. This is exactly what this is, Women's History Month. And it's just like Black History Month, Asian History Month, different, but history, as we talk about all these different months and identifying so people can really zone in on what history is about with women, with African Americans, with, Asian, et cetera, Latinos. History is an everyday occurrence. History is 365 days a year. History goes back before we ever thought about identifying a month. So what we'll have just a conversation. When we talk about a conversation, we want you to call your friends. Tell the people, hey, it's time. Get with the KO. This is the time. This is real conversation with the KO. That's what we're doing and getting everything set up. And I'm looking down a little bit because I want to get set up so I can read your comments. I hope you have comments. I hope you join me, in this podcast, so we can have some real conversation. Because it's time, man, It's always time to have some real conversations with a KO. That's what time it is. And that's what we're going to have. And I don't have it yet, but we're going to get it. There it is. It just popped up on the screen. Look at that. popped up on my screen, so it's there, and there's a telling me what I'm saying underneath. I don't know if y'all can see that, but mine is telling me, what I'm saying. So you don't understand, you can read it. It's right under there. But I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Today was a beautiful day. I got out just a little bit. Bourbon and I came to work today. My dog and I, we came to work, and it was really beautiful, and Ramadan. Ramadan for me, that's our 30-day, 29 to 30-day fasting has been going very well for me. It's over on the 20th. It's over on the 20th, and so right now we're here, going in, and today is the 9th. Tomorrow's the 10th. That means when I wake up tomorrow, I have 10 more days. And I'm hoping for the next 10 days to go to the mosque every day and break fast, and with my brothers and sisters called iftar. So I'll be doing iftar, in the evening, with my Muslim brothers and sisters. And we'll be doing, just celebrating. But, just before we get into our actual topic, I just want, while we're getting people to join us here, I just wanted to let folk know that fasting isn't just from food and drink. A lot of people say, oh, you can't even have water. No, you can't have water, you can't have food. But, anybody, can fast from food and drink. I'm very serious. Because even before Ramadan, and, most religions have their period of time of fasting. I think it's Lent. During Lent, you fast, and there's some religions fast on weekends, and some people fast 2 or 3 times a month. But the key is that understanding what that means. Fasting doesn't just mean to fast from food and drink. Fasting means to fast from lying, from just wasting time, from backbiting. Fasting means to fast from those things that impede your peace. Sometimes, understand, sometimes you have to fast from people. Certain people in your life. You ever have that person in your life that turns around, and no matter when you see them, what time of night, whenever you talk to them, they just rock your world. They disturb your peace. They're in the woe is me situation. You have those that just totally up, no matter what they do, they have someone or something to complain about. They just want to bring you down or be able to use you to just totally disrupt your peace. Well, that's what fasting is, to be able to deal with you individually, and for you to obtain your peace. For you to understand that, wow, not just, a lot of people say, woosah. It's to bring peace in your own heart. It's to bring peace with other individuals. But you get some people during this time that just want to argue with you. And a lot of people, it's not their fault, because they're not at peace. They don't know what peace really is, because they never really had peace. All they had, pressure and trials and tribulation and conditioning. That's what they have. So when you find peace in your own heart, when you find peace, they're mad at you because you got peace. So they find any little thing, they find something to be able to disrupt yours. But, that's even in the Women History Month, what we're talking about. I posted a thing today, and it just says that, it quotes Malcolm, basically I'm paraphrasing because I didn't get the actual quote, but Malcolm X, has stated that you can tell the strength of a nation by the way it treats the women of that nation. So if we grade the United States of America on how it respects, how it treats women in the United States, then I would say that it would receive a D minus. You know, and that means that, we got a struggle ahead of us. And, I always say the struggle is real, but, we can and must win. But the United States, has mistreated women and government since their conception, because they didn't look as women as being equal to a man. They didn't look at it or even having equal rights. I mean, just like people of color, women had to fight for the right to vote. And then when the women's suffrage movement, which we have to understand, and I think that as I look at my notes here, Carrie Chapman, Cat is her name, was actually one of the leaders in the women's suffrage movement and was born close to Charles City. Was born around Charles City, Iowa. And she was one of the leaders of the women's suffrage movement. But also understand, when you talk to women of all hue, you realize that even during that time, black women were not included in that movement. You had sprinkles, but they weren't seen as being equal to white women. So there was two struggles going on at this time. You had the struggle that women look for the rights to vote. Women look for the rights to be equal, so they wouldn't just be treated like, that they were supposed to be home barefoot and pregnant. That they, were individuals that without a doubt, were equal, to run businesses, to be involved, with decision making, not only to rear the children, but also to be able to decision, of the household. Money matters. Now, that's not taken away from you as a man. No. Because if you understand and you look at women as equal, then you understand that we all have roles in our life, ROLES, that we have, each of us, we have positions in our life. Because just like a man, let me be clear. Let me be clear. Of course, being a male, I have never experienced having a child. But when you see that miracle, that blessing taking place, and you listen to your wife or your significant other having the child, and you see the pain that she is going through. They say there's nothing more painful than childbirth. Now, we admit we wouldn't know that, but we know the strength, and we have to see that 9 months that she is carrying that child, 9 months she is carrying that blessing, the uncomfortability that comes through this difficulty, because when this difficulty comes, we know that through difficulty comes in, but once she's carrying that child, the nurturing that takes place within the womb, as that child is developing, that is connected to the mother, but the mother also develops the pain. Because as she's getting ready to give birth, the pain gets greater. Now, this is what I've seen, and I've seen, you watch the movies where the woman grabs the man's hand and squeezes so hard that he kneels. But you see that what she's going through, but she's going through that. She's going through that pain. You don't have to go through it. She's going through it for the both of you, for the three of you. She's gone and bringing life. She's bringing life, a blessing into the world. And that is just, man, that is so awesome. But that's not just her job. That's not her job just to be bringing that miracle. That's not her job just to, her job also. And that isn't the only reason why you should respect her. You know, you respect the woman because she is a womb of mind. She is the mind that is now transferring and bringing that child, that new mind into the world today. Woman meaning womb of mind. So now we respect her for what? Her intelligence. We respect her for her love. We respect her for the natural order that has been given to her to be able to bring a child into the world, raise that child with, if, let me be clear, clarify, but to be able to raise that baby, male or female, to be respectable to humankind. You see, when that child is born now, the mother nurtures that child so that she can give to that child what that child needs to develop in the mind, in the soul, in the heart, in the body. Because when you look at it, a child does not come out a dope dealer. A child does not come out a racist. A child does not come out a pimp. A child does not come out an oppressor. A child does not come out, wanting to flim-flam or to take money away from our elderly. A child comes out as an open vessel that the mother now, if she hasn't been messed with and convoluted and hasn't been mistreated and hasn't been conditioned, gives that child that balance that is necessary because that is her duty. She wrote that child for 9 months. She imparted. That's why they tell you the child is ready and to read to your child while in the womb. To talk to your child in the womb. To be able to give to that baby. Children get messed up when the parents are messed up. And if we don't treat women right, then we're not giving not only the woman, the adult, the chance to be her and give her best potential, but we're making sure that the child isn't being able to give him the best potential. And then it becomes a blessing when the child is able to succeed because it's fighting all that adversity. Because why? The mother had to fight adversity. It's just like, let me, seriously, we got to give credit where credit is due, that women have stood up and been able to change history, society, the social norm. Our own Des Moines Edna Griffin, who stood up at the Cat's drugstore. She was our Rosa Parks of Iowa. And she refused to let the lunch counter to be segregated. She fought to make sure and led other people. That means today, listen. Today, because of Rosa Parks having the blessing, this woman, this dynamic woman, having the blessing to stand up and to be counted, to know that the struggle is real and that we can and must win, made it so we Men and women could sit down at a counter and eat. Could go to a cash drugstore and eat at the counter. That we could go into a restaurant and eat. Do you know that some of you who are too young even to remember, and because we haven't told our story, that there was restaurants you couldn't go into, there was bathrooms you couldn't use, but because of women who fought to change that, because they decided not to take a back seat. They weren't taking a back seat to any man, any oppressor, anybody that wasn't that. Man, come on. Stood up. Do you know that even those single mothers that decided that they wanted something better, they wanted something better for their children, male and female. They wanted something better because they wanted their children not to have to go through what they went through. And any time that you abuse a woman, you're abusing the womb of mine. Any time that you disrespect a woman, you're disrespecting the womb of mine. You're disrespecting that woman that is the man is the womb of your mind. Anytime that you disrespect a woman, you're respecting your mother, your sister, your aunt. You're disrespecting. Do you realize how sensitive it was? Do you realize how, when you're coming up, that boy, you could holler at each other, call each other's names and everything else, but talk about somebody's mama? Boy, and the fight was on. You had to get it up, boy. The fight was on, and the hoop started flying, boy. Because some individuals loved their mama and understood the trials and tribulations that the mother would go through. They realized what was going on in their life. So the mother, oh my God, the mother was the queen. The mother was the one who stood up and you respected. Do you realize, oh man, let's go back. Before we got crazy, before we started taking women for granted, the woman was the queen. She was the foundation in the household. Not taking your place, brother. Man, not taking your place. She was the woman in to be able to uplift her man, to be able to go out because society said you were the breadwinner. You were supposed to go out and get the job. But when society made it hard for you even to get a decent paying job. And listen now, it's hard now to get a decent paying job. But then back then it was hard. Who was there by your side? Listen, King, who licked your wounds when you came home? Who was there to say, baby, lay your head here? And now you say, some of you are saying, all women didn't do that. Hey, you had women that didn't, but you had kings that didn't know how to treat a queen. You have individuals today. The woman is a diamond. Hear me, listen to me. The woman is like a priceless diamond. You give an individual that has no training, no understanding of a priceless diamond, they lie to leave that diamond sitting anywhere. They don't even know the value that they have with them. They don't respect the value that was given to them. They don't respect that woman because why? Because they go in and they don't have the guts. They don't have it within themselves to go in and tell the boss, quit treat me like a child. Like, quit treat me like I'm a slave. Quit treat me like I'm not a man, that I'm half of a man. So you take it, yes sir, no sir, okay boss, and you do that. And whoa. I'm just not talking about men of color. I'm talking about men that succumb to the greed that your company is conditioning you to become. You know it's not right to take people's money. You know it's not right to foreclose. You know it's not right. You know all of that. But when you go home, and who do you take it out on? Oh, listen to me. Because there's people that would upset you, and because you're so frustrated, because you've been conditioned, listen man, listen. You've been conditioned that you're supposed to be the man of the house, and you're supposed to have the last say so. And you're supposed to, be the ruler, but you don't feel like a ruler. You don't feel that you're the man in the home. So when you get home and she looks at you and say, how was your day? You go from 0 to 60. What do you mean how my day was? You know how my day was. What do you mean? What do you mean dinner ain't ready? What do you mean the kids had to shut them kids up? What do you mean? You don't understand what I go through every day. She not only understands, she's catching your wrath from what you went through today. That means that you take it out on her because you need to release. And you don't know how to release because you've been told as a man, that you're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to be showing no weakness, that emotion. Isn't that crazy? That's so crazy. You got tear ducts. Listen, you got tear ducts. You think them tear ducts is there to work like windshield wipers? To work like your windshield washer on your car? No, tear ducts is so you can release. You can release. Do you think your emotion is supposed to just be tied up in you? No, there's a way to release. You release so that when you get home, and it doesn't always work, sometimes you go off, but that's when she is understanding. Oh, let me tell you. You can be taken out of your nature. And when you're taken out of your nature, you help take her out of her nature. Now, a lot of individuals are going to disagree with me on this next statement. But you show me a woman who's out of her nature, and I show you where she done been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and abused by a man. I can show you where she has ran into someone of a male species that had acted like a zip. I'm not going to say damn fool because I don't want to say that. But you have that. Because the woman's nature, your nature, listen man, your nature is natural. Her nature is natural. It was given. You came out of the womb, and when you came out of the womb, you didn't come out as a woman beater. You didn't come out as a man hater. You didn't come out not loving people. You came in, boy, Google, goggling, and just looking around, can barely see, don't know who's around you, and all you want to do is this life, and you want some milk, you want some nourishment. That's what you want. You didn't come out looking crazy. You didn't come out looking like, I swear to you, and I wasn't there. And I wasn't there. If I'm lying, Langston, you help me. If I'm lying, when your baby came out, Langston, your baby didn't come out talking about, what's up, Pop? Let's listen to some beats. Your baby didn't come out doing that. Your baby didn't come out talking about, 7 or 11. Baby didn't come out talking about, that nigga this and that nigga that. That peckerwood that and that peckerwood that. That baby didn't come out like that. Am I lying? The baby didn't come out. That baby come out looking for that comfort, looking for that stability. And then got abused because somebody slapped on about, pay up. But the baby cried. That was the brain. Like that don't mean that means a person, a child, a woman, a child, a boy needs to be beat. That doesn't mean that at all. That doesn't mean that one iota. That child, boy, come out that you did. You came out that way. As a child, you came out, boy, ready. And then when you got to be going up, you got to be one. If your natural parent, your nature in your parents was right, then you got to having some fun. You got to be involved. You got to running around, being a child. But when our nature is taken away from our mother, then that childhood is taken away from the baby. When that childhood is taken away, you're taking the natural, the nature, the innate nature in a child, you're taking that away. Because you have allowed society to take yours away. You have allowed individuals, and some of you couldn't help it. Let me be clear. Some of you couldn't help that from happening. Because some of you never had a chance to grow with that. Some of you never had a chance because your mother nature was infringed upon. Your mother didn't have a chance to be a mother. Oh, listen to me. Whoo, Lord have mercy. You see, you couldn't be an Edna Griffin if your nature is taken away, if the respect isn't given to you as a woman. You couldn't be a Deidre DeGere if that isn't given to you. If your nature makes you to be deviant, if your nature and conditioning takes you away from your natural order, then you can't give what you ain't got. Listen, man. Listen, man, we have messed up so many women. And I know some of you sitting out there, I know. Because it's your nature now. Some of you are saying, okay, you ain't perfect. No, I'm not. I did my stuff. I'm not perfect. But I also repent on my stuff. And I'm truthful with me. And I know what I've done to take away the nature. I know how I've hurt a woman in my life, a women in my life. I know. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying I'm above you, man. I'm saying I face my demon. I've come eye to eye with my demon. And I fought my demon. And I still fight my demon. I ain't perfect, but don't act like you are either. And don't look for the splinter in my eye and miss the plank in your eye. Understand, listen, man, listen. And listen, oh, my women, understand. Whoo, please, understand. You got to take it back. You got to take back your respect. And yeah, I know sometimes it's hard because you don't want to be lonely. I know sometimes you're walking around saying, I don't want to be by myself. Sometimes you have to be by yourself to get yourself together. Because you can't get yourself together and get him together too. That's why we have to watch how we deal with one another. You got to watch how you talk to one another. I don't want to call my wife mama. She's not my mama. My mother is my mother. This is my wife. This is my helpmate. This is my partner. This is the one with a mind like my mind. This is a woman with intuition. So I have to look at her not as my mama. I don't want to turn around. They got us using baby language. We just talk about in the day, and you talk about even now, where you going to the crib? You don't live in no crib. Babies are in cribs. You ain't in the crib. You don't look at it. You look at, listen, we're so messed up. They got us messed up in the movies and the TV and, on these porn sites and everything else. You looking at, we used to look at a woman and whose breast wasn't covered. And we looked at that as nutrition, feeding, milk. Now, boy, we make millions of dollars in this country looking lustfully at a woman's breast. Lustfully at the woman, your woman that you go, and you talking about you're ready to, somebody talk about your mom and you're going to fight, but you're going to look at somebody else. You're going to look at another woman in a disrespectful way. Listen, man, listen. But sister, and when I say sister, I'm talking about my sisters, my African-American sisters. I'm talking about my Caucasian sisters, my Asian sisters. I'm talking about, but hey, don't get me wrong. I have not forgot about my culture. And I know the disparity within, especially with African-American women. And I know with white women being treated one way, you being treated another way, people of color being treated, no, I ain't forgetting that. But now I'm talking to you because now we have to come together because you have to demand respectability. You have to demand who you are. You have to demand that you are now standing up being the woman that you're the queen you are supposed to be. You're the queen. Oh, Lord have mercy. You don't let nobody not treat you as a queen. You want to be treated as a queen, but you got to also carry yourself as a queen. I don't, I don't, and I don't know about you, listen, but I don't want a woman that I got to fight with, go fisticuff with, toe to toe. I don't want a woman that feels hitting is the way to go. I don't want a woman who feels she has to compete with me. As a man, I shouldn't have to compete with her. And if you have the right relationship, then you're not competing with one another. You're building with one another. Now, wait a minute. Let's be clear. It's not all peaches and ice cream. Excuse me. It's not all right going to be all right every day and y'all going to be smiling at each other. There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be disagreement. But what if the agreement is, no matter what our disagreement is, we will not go to bed angry with one another. You will not raise your hand to me. I will not raise my hand to you. I'm not going to cuss you out and call you out your name, but we'll have our disagreement, and that can be done. And if we see that we cannot be together, if we see we cannot be together, then let us separate. Let's not separate and be angry and breaking stuff. And I'm not just, no, don't say, yeah, women do that. Men do that too. But let's not break stuff, and let's not use the children. Let's not use the children against each other. And if you, listen, man, if you bought your wife something and you're not together, and you know that she done given you the best she has to give you, you give them the best you have to give her, don't be trying to take it back. A lot of people take it back not because they even need it, they take it back because they feel that's the man thing to do. Or that's the woman thing to do. That's that ain't neither one. If you can, don't, oh my, don't use the children. Don't use the children against each other. Don't use the children. I know men that turn around and will use the child against the woman in a hot second, and I know women that will turn around and use the child against the man. And even to the point, if it's a man that's getting himself together and pulling himself together, I know women that have come up and said, you can't see your child. Oh, man. And I know individual men that tell, if you don't do what I say, you'll never see the children again. Oh, man. Oh, man, that ain't right. That's white male, boy. Man, you're using that against her. Don't do that. Don't use that against her. Now, I understand we go all the way back. The nature that is placed from the mother to the child. One of those items, one of those variables is to be fair. To be fair. And we are so conditioned in society now to be so unfair. So unfair. And we don't have to be. We really don't have to be. Listen to me, please. We don't have to be. We don't have to be unfair. We can be right there with one another. I'm telling you, we can. We don't have to be, we don't have to be fighting one another at all. We don't have to do that. Oh man. All you have to be, all you have to do is stand up to be right. To understand. Sometimes it takes me a minute. I grew up in a society, man, come on. I grew up in a life where I was conditioned to. I grew up in life, I told you, I wasn't right. Where I grew up where it was just, the man was the man. And I haven't did what I was supposed to. I was supposed to do what I was supposed to do. That means I did what? I did a disservice to her. I tell you, when I was married, I did such a disservice. And even when dating, I did. I know I know some of you are now saying, oh, here you go. Is he going to be honest? Yeah, I am. Let me tell you something. I'm not blaming this on nobody. I'm not blaming this on nobody. I can't. And and understand if my voice gets a little tickled, I'm doing Ramadan. I'm doing Ramadan. I don't break fast after 7, But that means I also gotta fast being truthful. You know? But man, let me tell you, being brought up in the 60s and the movement and the Panther Party, whoo, man, I thought this was it. You respect women, but you understand. My wife, I married my wife, but I didn't balance out the movement with my wife. I dated individuals, but I didn't balance out the movement. I was more in love with the movement than I was with my wife, my family, my mom, my sister. I was more in love with because I thought this was it. This is the movement. I live and die for the movement. So instead of giving quality time, I thought giving quantity was the key, not quality. And I'll get up in the middle of the night and shoot out or get under. Now, there's a commitment to the struggle, but there's also a commitment to your family. There's a commitment to the woman in your life who you want to be able to give that natural order to your children, to give that natural order to your family, to give that natural order to you to help balance you out. But if you're not reciprocal, then it causes an unbalance in the home, and you're taken away from the woman, and the woman you are asking to be your strength. And that means the women have to find strength within themselves to be able to stand up. That's why you have other women that thank women for what they've given to them. Like Sister Abinah says, she wants to, sending love to all the women who raised her. That's why you have people like every time my grandmother gave me what was necessary to help me develop, because our women knew what they needed to stand up and be able to do. They knew they needed to go forward because we punked out. We gave up. We gave up because we felt that our manhood meant that we didn't have the floor shines on, that we didn't have the Jordans on, that we didn't have the up-to-date. Oh man, we put it into the physical world instead of putting it into that human being that means so much to us. I did that. I thought, boy, the Black Power movement was the movement of all time. I got accolades for, boy, that brother down. That brother's down. But I wasn't down for the person that I needed to be down for. You see, listen. Some of us are scared. Some of us are scared to death to step out there and give. To give up what we've been conditioned to believe is our manhood, and so we mistreat her. And I mean, listen, let me say, man, it's just some simple things. Simple things. We wouldn't even tell a woman, I love her, because older men told me, well, you make sure she feel the same way you feel before you let her know how you feel. You know how crazy that sounds? Come on. If a woman says, baby, I love you, don't take that lightly. Know what is in that statement. And if she's proven to be by your side, then you be by her side, man. If she's raising your children, then give her the respect as a queen and a mother that she is supposed to have. Listen, man. You may not be the best cook in the world. You may not be able to burn, you might burn water. Shoot. But you can go, hey, The way technology is today and the way they do food today, you can go get you some food and it seems like you the best chef in the world. All you gotta do is read the directions. It says, put your oven preheat at 350 degrees. And now they got a thing called the air fryer. I'm just learning how to work mine. You know, the air fryer, you put it in, just stick it in there, boy, and it's quicker than even in the oven. And you can bring it out and feed her, serve her. Say, baby, you had a rough day today. Don't wait for her to say you did. And listen. Please, just listen. Don't wait till Valentine's Day. Don't wait till the 14th of February or the 12th of February. I don't even know what day it falls on, but don't wait. Don't wait till Christmas. And then here's the thing. Don't give her something that you plan to take back. And don't give her something that she can use to make your life easier. Give her something, boy, that you just know she really likes. And you know what? When a woman's in her nature, she don't care how expensive it is. She cares about you gave it to her. And of course, that's reciprocal. That's reciprocal. You know, that, yeah. But she's more apt to do that with you. But let me tell you, I mean it. I'm going to repeat this. You show me the woman out of her nature, and I'll show you what man that messed her up. You show me a woman, boy, that no longer has that in her, that she's so guarded that she'll tell you, I don't need a man. Now, you know how crazy that sounds? When a woman tell you she don't need a man, ain't that crazy? That's crazy. But what she's telling you, I'm sick of men treating me this way. I'm sick of men not treating me like a queen. I'm sick of it. But now, let's flip it. Oh. Listen, my beautiful queen. Tonight, if you're one of those individuals that says there's no good men in Des Moines, there's no good men anymore, I'm looking for a good man, you got to ask yourself, why do I keep attracting bad men? Why do I attract bad men? Because every man that's come into your life ain't a bad man. You got to start asking yourself, why do I attract bad men? And sometimes the answer is because I ain't got my stuff together. Because I'm settling for second. I'm settling just to be treated anyway. You know, you got to have your standards. Now, I'm not saying ridiculously high. Let me say, you know, you can't have stuff just totally ridiculous. Not at all. You know, you can't have it, sister, you know, and when I say sister, I want you to know, those just join us. I'm there. I don't forget my African American sisters, my African sister, my sister of color. But I'm talking about white women, black women, African women. I'm talking about Asian women. And hey, listen. I remember my culture is intact. I don't question my culture. But I'm saying, women, you got to demand that you're all right. That my standard is high. Because why? Because I'm a human being. And I'm a queen. And I want to be treated like a queen. I don't mind helping you, man, if you treat me like a queen. Because I want you to be the king. I want you, and if you're going through something, I'm going to be patient with you. I'm going to be with you. I'm going to go through it with you. I'm going to be with you every step of the way. And that's what we have to look at. You know, Satara said, yes, speaker, Kale, speak the truth. Listen. To you, I thank you for saying that. But I also say to you, if you sitting up there and you trying to find, what's wrong with what I'm saying, and you question me, oh, you so lost. You so lost. You in trouble. You know, Samuel Brody says, he said the most powerful force in the world without the woman in my life, I wouldn't be who I am today. You see, when you understand the diamond that you have, that the woman isn't there to be owned, you don't own the woman, you don't own nobody. And even to the point you get those people out there that are talking about brother this and brother that, and I don't like slavery and oppression, and the first thing you do, that's my woman, I own her, you don't do nothing, who you on the phone with, who it is you go, you went out, why didn't you tell me? If you treat your woman right, your woman will say, baby, I'll be back, I'm going to the grocery store. Baby, I'm going out with my friend, my young friend, my women friend. I'm going out to a spa. And then guess what? You don't question that because you understand your wife is balanced and she has that nature. And if you have your balance and your nature, you ain't worried about her going seeing nobody else. You ain't worried about her being disrespectful to you. Oh man, my time is up. I just looked at the clock. Woo! Sister Abinana, I was having fun. Having fun because I was releasing me. When I'm talking to you, man, and pointing my finger at you, man, I'm pointing one finger at you, I'm pointing three fingers back at myself because it's something I have to deal with me. Ladies, when I'm pointing my finger at you, I'm pointing one finger at you, I'm pointing fingers back at me because it's something I have to deal with in my life. We have to do that with one another. We have to lift each other. We have to understand the grace. Oh, my. We have to understand this grace that we have. Brother Gerald, I love you too, brother. We have to understand that we have to go and now get away from being duped. And I'm going to close with this. I got a part 2 to this. I might do this next week. I don't know, but I feel good. I feel I got some weight off my shoulders. Because, it just, oh my God, and the comments are awesome. Thank you. But let me say this to you. Folk, we've been duped. We've been hooked, winked, and bamboozled on how we are to treat one another as male and female. We've been bamboozled. Yeah, we have. And it's unfortunate, but we have. Society has. Society has showed us how we are no longer supposed to look at the women in our lives. Society has us fighting one another, competing with one another. Society has us not respecting, not giving the woman in our life her me day. Have the women not giving the man their me day. Yeah, we have. We've been just really messed up. I see there was a comment that was there, and with Sister Abinana, some of the I had to refresh, I think a little bit, but you know what? You got to understand that if another man that is supposed to govern society or supposed to be one of our leaders having to tell you how to discipline your woman, yeah, I said it, how and what not to say to your woman, you done lost your mind. Naturally, you know how to. You know the difference between right and wrong. Life and relationships have gotten complicated because people have made it complicated. You know how to treat another human being fairly? You know how to love an individual? You know how to love another human being? You know how to do it. You don't need YouTube to show you how to love somebody. You don't need none of that. You know how to. Quit acting like you don't know how to. You do. And you can do it well. Quit acting like you don't know. It's simple. It's simple. I tell you what, as I close now and get out of here, because I get to go break fast here soon. I know Abanon, I think she wrote something, I'm sorry I can't see it, and maybe if, I got comments up, but my comments aren't keeping up. But anyway, you know, just listen. If you really want to pay, if you really want to pay somebody $250 an hour, donate to Creative Visions. Right on our website, cvonline.us. Call Creative Visions and say, I want to talk to a KO, because I want to know how I'm supposed to treat my woman. And if it's difficult, for $250 donated to Creative Visions, boy, I'll give you one of the most simple answers in the world and have you on the right track in less than 3.5 minutes, I promise you. And if you listen to me, I promise you. Because what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give it free, but some of you need it 2 or 3 times. I'm going to tell you, treat her respectfully, treat her as a human being, treat her as you would want to be treated if the climate was natural for you. Now, isn't that simple? Don't lie to her. Don't cheat on her. Don't try to discipline her. Quit looking at her as one of your pets. Don't look at her as one of your pets in the house. Don't look at it, especially don't look at you have ownership. Don't look her as a subhuman being. I'll tell you, $250, donate to CV Online, and I'll give you the formula. I'll give it to you for free. I'll give it to you. We'll do it, and it won't cost you an arm and a leg. I promise you that. But all I'm saying to you now, it's time to change the game. It's time to change the game. It's time to change the game. I thank everybody for joining us. My sister Stephanie. I have many a time, but baby, you're my sister, you're my rock, and I apologize for my ignorance in treating you. I apologize because of the times that my maleism jumped in. There's times when I thought I could fix you. Like I'm crazy. That I ain't fixed. I apologize to you. To any woman out there that is listening to my voice tonight, if you feel I mistreated you, did something wrong to you, accept my apology. And if your natural self is back, call me. I can apologize. You should hear it from my voice. I challenge you, men, male and female, to call people that you have hurt and say, I apologize. I don't want to go for no tit for tat. Who did what? None of that. I just want to tell you, I'm sorry, because in a relationship, it takes two. It takes two. So I apologize. I love all of you. I always tell you the struggle is real. We can and must win. That's what we have to do. Some of the comments I didn't get to tonight, I will get to. I'll bring them up next week. Next week we're going to honor women. There's the rest of this month. We're going to have female guests, and then we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break and, for a minute. And that's because April Wells, my director, and told me this season we done ran 20-something shows. It's time to take a break. And she just wasn't talking about me. She was concerned about me. She wasn't talking about me. She needed a break from me. Let me be clear. She needed a break from me. And see, I got to respect that. But I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much. I really do. Y'all mean a lot to me. And Stephanie, I love you. I saw the pictures on Facebook that you had mom and women in your life that supported you. And I say to all the women that have helped take up the slack where we have failed, thank you. For you men out there that's doing the best you can and willing to do better, I say thank you. Don't forget, I love y'all. Thank you, Langston, for everything that you do. I mean that from my heart. And to everybody out there that's listening, share this. Don't forget, donate to Creative Visions. Also, I'm asking you to sponsor. If you run a daycare, sponsor. If you have a business, sponsor this podcast. If you know someone that has a business, tell them, I got a podcast I want you to sponsor, because we want this to go on and we want to go. Also, you can get now the shows on YouTube. Is that right, Lance? You go on YouTube and you can watch these shows. You can watch past shows. You can watch the one with Will Keefe. You can watch the one that we had the women on there. And, you can watch the one where, the doctors were on, the doulas. And, you can watch all of them. You can watch the shows. You can get on YouTube and watch. You can watch this one on YouTube. This one's going to be on YouTube. And all you got to do is you'll see the title or the picture. This one will be like Celebrating Women. That's what this will be called, Celebrating Women. You can play it to your friends. Call the people. Call people and do that. I'm out. I'm gone. I'm getting ready to go so I can break fast. And, ask God to continue to forgive me. I ask all of you to forgive me. If I said something tonight that offended you, that made you mad at me, call me, because that's your issue, and we'll talk about it. Peace, love, and much respect.
Title, Family Emoji.
Listen. It is not whether you are Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Republican, or Democrat. is if you are ready to fight for justice for all, no matter what label you are under. Listen, listen. The question is not whether can you die for me, the question is whether can you live for me. If we understand our differences, our similarities will have substance. Listen, listen. The struggle is real. We can and must win. Listen. We can and must win. Listen, listen. It is not whether you are Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Republican, or Democrat. It's if you are ready to fight for justice for all, no matter what label you are under. Listen, listen. The question is not whether can you die for me, the question is whether can you live for me. If we understand our differences, our similarities will have substance. Listen, listen. The struggle is real. We can and must win. Listen. We can and must win.